Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
Welcome, everybody, to a new year and another episode of Freed on Business. This is episode number 801. I want to thank Bruce Jekyll for being on last week for our New Year's edition and for talking about all the time that we spent together on Freed on Business. I want to welcome everybody to this show. We're streaming live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. You can find us at Freed on Business or at Jim Freed. And today, my guest is Marilyn Marnett. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I always get that wrong. Marilyn Marnett. She'll correct me basically later. With the Education Fund, we're going to talk about what the Education Fund is. Today's background kind of gives you a glimpse. You see me there with there it is, with the teacher and some of the students. It was really a beautiful experience. I do it every year. We're going to talk more about that. I want to thank the people that helped make this all possible. Warren Henry Automotive, our friends at Warren Henry, Larry Zinn, Eric Day, Ismet Yagzi, of course, Warren Zinn. They've been sponsors for, God, I don't even know how long anymore, 13, 14 years. And they help us because we do these community involvement segments and bring their positive energy to the community. And now back to our guest, Marilyn Marnett. I'm sure I butchered that. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Jim. So happy to be here. No, you got my name right at the end there, Marilyn Marnett.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Well, I've been involved with the Education Fund for quite some time. In 2018, I got awarded for being a successful public school graduate. In my class was people like Billy Corbin and Neeson Kasdan. So very diverse group of people that have been involved. Putting that down because it means a lot to me. I put it right back up on the wall. Marilyn, tell everybody what the Education Fund is. Everybody sees me back there with the young kids. I'll tell them about my personal experience in a couple minutes.
Sure, of course. And this year, the Education Fund, we're celebrating our 40th anniversary. So for 40 years, basically, we've been focusing exclusively on public education in Miami-Dade County Public Schools. We seek to maximize every child's potential and, give them all the opportunities that they would have to be a success. We have at every given time, we have 5 to 6 programs that we, implement in order to, support the teachers and the students. We couldn't do the things that we do without our private sector. So, these programs very heavily involve our, business professionals like Jim, and the Teach-A-Thon, which is the program that he always has been participating in, and at least since I've been with the organization. I know you've been with, doing the program even longer before I was here.
So I want to thank the Education Fund for facilitating my personal self-actualization needs. It's really the most wonderful experience anybody could have. If you could just get yourself to walk through the front door. I've done this at a variety of schools, from a magnet school in Little Havana, where they asked me to teach them about the Holocaust. We brought a Holocaust survivor in to meet them, to Norland Senior High, where I taught across the hallway from one of the guys I went to high school with. That was wonderful. I taught, high school, seniors and stuff like that in that class. And the class that I went to this year, I've gone to in the past. It's one of my favorites to go to. I like to spread it around a little, but I always like to go back to the Rennick School at the county line. The Rennick School is a place where they bring kids with special needs, and it's absolutely beautiful. I dressed, in a coat and tie. I always dress in a coat and tie. And I stood up at the front of the room, and they asked me if the President of the United States had sent me. Swear to God.
Oh my goodness, they're the best. The kids are the best.
They heard Warren Henry was a sponsor, and they want to drive in all the fancy cars at Warren Henry. It was my goal to let them all know that even though they're special needs kids up at that school, which school is a very difficult physical environment for them. That everybody loves them, that they're very special individuals, and that the community doesn't forget them. And one of the things that the Education Fund does for them, and I didn't send Mr. Mendoza this picture, but I probably should have, is that they fund a food garden in the back. None of these young people has food security. The luckiest ones are the ones that live in a foster situation, because there they get 3 square meals a day. But a number of them live at home with their parents where food is a challenge. Mm-hmm. And when you walk through the food garden in the back, you see all of the different edible plants basically eaten to the stem. Mm-hmm. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And the young gentleman up to my upper right there with the headsets on, he's nonverbal. So I connected with each young person and each teacher individually. And when I got to that gentleman, they told me he was nonverbal and he wouldn't understand anything that I said to him. And I said, I know that I can connect with him. And what I did was I reached out my hand, I held his hand, I looked him in the face, and I told him that I loved him. Believe me, we connected. So Marilyn, I want to thank you and the Education Fund for what you bring to the public schools and to people that otherwise would not have the ability to communicate with people from mainstream society. Right back there, there you see they painted me this beautiful welcome sign. They did that the last time I was here. We have all kinds of beautiful pictures. I'll work with Mr. Mendoza, maybe put some of those up during the rest of the show. If not, we'll people can always find them. I'll send you some. But Marilyn, how do people get involved with the Education Fund? I got involved. A good friend of mine made outreach to me, got me nominated for that award. I won that award. But how do people generally get involved? Big corporations, individuals?
Well, you can reach out to an employee of the organization like myself. My email, I'll share it with, please, if you guys, you can go visit our website. On there, you'll get a little bit of a glimpse of all the different programs that we have. The Food Forest program, like Jim said, our Ideas with Impact, which gives grants to teachers. The Ocean Bank Center for Educational Materials, it's a warehouse in Hialeah where any Miami-Dade County Public School teacher can come and shop for free school supplies because it is so needed. After COVID, the pandemic, we are giving away more than double the amount in school supplies. Smart Path, which helps kids that don't come from a college or career background and, whose parents wouldn't have a clue where to guide their children after high school. We give them different options. We take them on college visits all over the state. All those professionals come in and tell them about their career. Of course, of course, the Teach-A-Thon. If anyone's interested in learning more, they can find it on our website, and on there you can find our information, our phone number, and we'd be happy to talk to you about it. And Jim, I want to thank you for going into those classrooms, even though you visit one time. It makes such a huge impact on these kids because they see their teachers day in and day out. It's like your parents. If your parents tell you something, you don't really listen. But if someone comes in, a professional from the community that has experience, like real world experience in what you're teaching them, they listen. And I get story after story from teachers that after those visits, the kids, they want to learn how to invest their money. They want to learn more about math. They want to now apply to college. It really makes an impact. So thank you so much for doing that. And I hope your listeners will call us and participate as well.
It was my pleasure. They gave me a gift pack. I should have brought my gifts. I still have a couple of
They
gifts.
love it. They
made me honey soap for my face, and they made tea soap for my hands. You see the teacher right there with her face above this sign. She goes broke buying things for the kids and making them meals. She's an absolute gem. She's the constant that I continue to see. You see another couple, 3 or 4 of the teachers in the background. The students are amazing. Like I said, they really don't get to meet many people from the mainstream. The first time that I went to check in at the center, they were literally Baker acting one of the young people, and you could hear them screaming in the background. And they asked me if I wanted to participate after I heard that. And that was actually during high COVID. And I said, yes, even more so now than I did before. You walk through the school, you haven't been to a public school. This particular one is very difficult. I'm going to just say it looks like a prison. Some of the other schools that I've gone through, it's readily apparent that they need help from the outside. I did Coral Gables Senior High a while back with some older kids also, and it's all across the Miami-Dade Public Schools. There is a need for this. This is not a statement about endorsing anything other than helping young people that need help in our community. Marilyn, again, how do people get involved? And it's not just individuals, it's corporations. I know people give matching grants. I've been to the warehouse, the Ocean Bank warehouse, where the teachers spend an inordinate amount of their own personal funds to come into the schools and bring the materials in to just enrich the lives of these young people. And our community is only as strong as the young people coming up behind us. It's very important to provide them with love and kindness that they may or may not get from the community. So Marilyn, how do people get involved again? Mr. Mendoza, you want to flash that up?
Yes, visit our website, educationfund.org. On there, you'll also see we have two great events coming up in 2025 where we will be also celebrating our 40th anniversary. But first is our Taste of Education. It's an event that supports the culinary programs in our public schools. If you have not tried the food that these kids create, I mean, my first event, I could not believe. I mean, it's as good as any restaurant that you will try in Miami. I mean, amazing. Escargot, sushi. I mean, it's amazing the things, and it's incredible how proud they are about their dish. They learn how to sell the item that they've made, how to highlight, describe it, speak to adults, in a career experience type of way. So it's like a tasting event similar to South Beach Wine and Food, but that is taking place on February 25th, 2025. So hope to see you there. And then we also support the arts, visual arts, at our For the Love of Art charity auction being held on May 20th, 2025. And I was looking up at the piece of work that I got that I hang on my wall to this day. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. Exactly. Yeah. And we support the arts because, there's kids sometimes that may not love going to school, but, culinary and arts, those are things that are fun. And so if you get them engaged with that type of subject, it gets them excited to go to school, and they continue going, and it gets them graduating and onto more successful, paths. So it's important to support the arts, and it's, those are subjects that create, that help the kids with their self-esteem and things like that. So it's a real easy way to get involved in a positive way in the community and change people's lives. The experiences that they have are dramatic. And I'll go back to the young people that I've met at Rennick School. They're lovely. When I spoke at Norland, one of the gentlemen said that he didn't want to go to college. And I told him something that he didn't realize was that he could work for somebody like Warren Henry without a college degree and earn six figures and get health insurance. There's many ways to move forward in traditional and non-traditional ways. The most important thing is that we need to continue the tradition of helping our young people. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to give a little deeper high five to the folks at Warren Henry, and then we're going to come back with the bottom line right after this. Mr. Mendoza, take it away. Well, as we enter into the 800s of our podcasts, I want to thank people who have at this point basically been with us since the beginning, our good friends at Warren Henry.
we're so proud to be brand ambassadors for Warren Henry, and you're seeing one of the reasons that they sponsor our show. It's because we project the Warren Henry energy into the community, and that energy is absolutely positive and unlimited. They do a lot of things with athletics that people see. They do a lot of things about training the next generation for vocational skills. But more than anything else, Warren Henry is a fountain of positive energy and positive community impact that deserves our support. So remember, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you always want to get the best advantage, and that's working with Warren Henry. They've got a store in Gainesville where they sell Audis. They've got a store in Key West where they sell all the nameplates. They continue to add names and brands to their offerings. But the number one thing that's consistent across all those offerings is that you become a member of the Warren Henry family and you get the Warren Henry Advantage. It's a list of special services that they give you, including the ability to get a loaner car when you get your car serviced. I love Gerald and my team over at the Warren Henry Car Service Lane. They treat me, my mom, my wife, my friends. We all get treated like family. You should too. Always the best price. Always. Oh wait, I forgot to say all the brands they have up at Biscayne on 151st, Land Rover, Range Rover, Lincoln. It's just all the great brands. And down in South Dade, they have Land Rover, Range Rover. Out in West Broward, they have Land Rover, Range Rover. They're just tremendous people. I'm overwhelmed because I keep looking at the picture behind me and remembering the great experience that Warren Henry helps me have by being a sponsor of this show. Thank you again to our friends at Warren Henry. Please support our friends at Warren Henry. Thank you so much. Mr. Mendoza, rock. Hi, I'm Jim Freed, and I'm the founder of Sandstone Realty Advisors. We help some of the biggest developers and largest real estate families in town capitalize their transactions. We recently closed on a large hotel purchase for one family, and we also helped one of the big developers, the estate companies, finance a $64 million apartment loan that's going to be bringing housing down to Homestead, where they're going to help Homestead build out their residential community and be a place where people that work at the Baptist Hospital South can live. It's going to be a tremendous thing. Again, we're so proud to help our community in oh so many ways, and our hats off to our friends at the estate companies for working with us. If you have a transaction and you need some help with capital, or just need to have an experienced person help you figure things out, reach out to me. We do hundreds of millions of dollars worth of transactions every year. We'd love to add ourselves to your team. And of course, you see the positive energy we bring to everything. You have a choice with who you do your real estate with. Please reach out to me, Jim Freed. You see how to do it. Remember, when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're back with Marilyn from the Education Fund. You see behind me the young people that I work with and their teachers this year. It was an absolutely heartwarming experience, and it allowed me to self-actualize and project positive energy and good values into the system and show love to people that normally feel the harshest portion of our society. Is Marilyn still here?
Yes, I am.
There she is. There she is. So Marilyn, again, how do people get involved, and what are the upcoming events that they can get involved with?
All right. So in order to get involved, visit our website, educationfund.org. Educationfund.org. It's right there on the screen. And there's various ways to get involved. The two great ones are through our events coming up February 25th, 2025, the Taste of Education supporting culinary students in Miami-Dade County Public Schools. And then on May 20th at our For the Love of Art charity auction and honoree celebration, that's the event where you were honored, Jim, where we have art that's auctioned off. It's art made by teachers and students. And all of that money goes back to those teachers and students so they can continue to purchase art supplies, which, is severely underfunded. There's other ways people, like I mentioned earlier, we have a warehouse where the teachers shop for free, but we are always in need of, folks to help sort items that are donated, stuffing book bags that go to the kids that need it. There are some opportunities sometimes to help keep up our food forest. We have food forest in 31 elementary schools, I believe. And as you can imagine, that those need attending to. And we also have edible gardens in about 50 elementary schools. We also need business professionals that can go into the classrooms, our Smart Path clubs, to talk to the students about their career, what they do. Also helping them fill out their FAFSA forms. Like, let's say these kids decide they do want to go to college, they're going to need money to go to college. So we have evenings where, or days where they can come and help the students fill out the FAFSA forms, which are super confusing, but, they, can be tricky, but, we guide you exactly how to, and teach the volunteers how to do that. So there are many ways that you can get involved. Also, of course, sponsoring one of our programs, one of our events. That's another really important and very needed way that a company or an individual can be involved with the education fund.
So I'm in the process of doing fundraising right now. We're going to try to get our link up either at the end of the show or during the e-blast for how people can work with me to fundraise for the education fund. And I think it's important to note as we wrap up, this is really the bottom line. This is extraordinarily needed. When I went to that school, the kids were so hungry that they would eat the plants in the backyard. They would eat the plants in the backyard. The lucky ones have foster care where their caregivers are paid money to provide them with food. But many of them come from economically challenged situations where they can't get food away from that school in any regular format. It's really important to understand the value that you add when you participate with the education fund. I want to thank Marilyn so much for coming today and pointing that out. I want to thank Mr. Mendoza for putting up the picture with me. We'll have other pictures available, and we'll have the link to how you can donate in the email that we send announcing the show, and then we'll do some follow-up emails. Remember, if you missed something in today's episode, you can check out the replay on any one of my social links, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, or Instagram, by finding me at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business. You'll also be able to give to the education fund there and really do it. Don't just look and go, nah. It's something where you can really change the life with $5 or $10. You can head on over to at Freed on Business's YouTube page. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're anywhere where you listen to your audio, and check out all the other past episodes that we've done there. I want to thank our friends at Warren Henry. This is the baseline of why Warren Henry sponsors us. Warren Henry is a premier sponsor in our community. They give back to our community at all times. Join me and Warren Henry as we support programs like the Education Fund. And remember, this is so important to say right now, the person who wants to do something finds a way. The other finds an excuse. Now you go out and you make it happen. Thank you to Marilyn and the Education Fund. Mr. Mendoza, next.